JC.
Hello.
This is Kevin Gillen, and I'm with JC Hewett. We're both members of Emanuel Lutheran Church in Centralia, Washington. What we're going to talk about today is a little bit about JC's background, but we're also going to talk about God's hand in his life. And so let me ask you a couple of questions to start off, a little bit about your own background. So where are you from?
I'm from Lewis County. I was born across the way in Chehalis. Lived there for a year. My dad worked for the PUD, so we moved up to Morton. Stayed there till I was 10. We moved back here. I graduated from WF West and went off to school at WSU, and then went in the Peace Corps, taught in a one-room school in a logging camp, and then came back here and taught 33 years in Chehalis.
Peace Corps. That's
it was in Thailand. It was a lot of fun.
Wow, that's terrific. So how long have you been attending Emanuel?
I've been here about 2.5 years. I started, a friend of mine sang in the praise group, and we both sang in a choir in Chehalis, and so I would start coming here on the Sundays we didn't sing, and I really liked what I heard here, both the music and the message. Pastor Linda just really touched my heart. I think that I have an affinity in my heart for female pastors because they seem more about God and Jesus than. And there's not as much ego involved there. Mm-hmm. And she's just this kind, gentle soul. She made me feel very welcome, learned my name right away, encouraged me to become a member, and has encouraged me since I've become a member.
So, in your experiences here at Emanuel, how would you define the character of this congregation? What is the most defining element that Emanuel Lutheran has?
Well, for me, it's the welcoming nature of everybody here. We have the passing of the peace, and we go, and that takes quite a while sometimes. And even though I didn't know a lot of people, they would greet me as though they knew me, and they would give me God's peace. And I felt that was a genuine example, the right hand of God's fellowship.
Well. We all know that God's with us. We all have that as in our mind and heart, that we know of His presence. But we also have been consumed by our normal day-to-day life, mm-hmm. The stresses of life, the interruptions in our lives on a daily basis, which tends to take our ability to recognize God's existence and put it more and more into the background. But from time to time, things happen in our lives that are really indicative of God's hand and work in our lives. Has such occasions ever happened with you?
It really has, and the way you preface that is really good, because I grew up at St. John's Lutheran Church in Chehalis, and when I went away to school in '65, it was the hippie movement was going on there, and I went away with the idea that I would maybe become a pastor, a minister. But then I started taking some courses and made me question things. I started looking at other religions, and I fell away. I mean, I actually turned my back on God. I tell people sometimes I was attending the Church of the Inner Spring rather than getting up in the morning and going off to church. But even though I did that, and I did that for a long time, I could always feel that I was favored, or He was watching over me. And so even though I wasn't attending, I would pray, but I would never pray to ask for anything because I didn't feel that I had any right to ask Him for anything. But I would always, when I would pray, I would thank Him. If something good had happened to me, I would thank Him. I got a job, I got into a new relationship or something like that, and I would pour out my thankfulness for Him. And He had every right to turn His back on me, but He never did. He never has. And I'm reminded of that hymn, the steadfast love of the Lord never ceases. And I can't understand it. There are a couple of verses that I like. One is Psalm 46:10. It says, "Cease striving and know that I am God." And the other one comes from Proverbs. It says, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. And all your ways acknowledge Him, and He will make your paths straight." And so I try to do that. I pray that I can honor and glorify Him each day, and I know that, He's rooting for me.
Yeah, yeah. It's marvelous to have that knowledge. It's very, very comforting, of course.
It's like that poem Footprints, the two sets of prints, excuse me, and then there's only one, and that's.
Yeah. Do you have anything else you'd like to add?
If I can get this out of my throat, my son-in-law is a pastor, and he gets a kick out of this story because shortly after my wife and I were married, our neighbors, who, if you're a Simpsons fan, this will bring a smile to your lips, they were called the Flanders. Mm-hmm. In The Simpsons, there's a Ned Flanders, and they were evangelical Christians. And they took us under their wing, took us out to breakfast every Saturday, and started a Bible study that was just them and us. And I think that's how God was looking after me.
Right.
And
right.
Sorry about the voice.
No, that's fine. We're all human. Well, okay. Well, thank you very much. What a pleasure to learn more about you.
Oh, this has been fun.